With a WWE star hinting at retirement and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for March 9th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. One reason mentioned for Bryan Danielson leaving WWE for AEW was the option to work New Japan shows. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Bryan revealed the one condition that needs to be met if he works for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I really do want to do New Japan, but I also kind of don't want to do it until fans can cheer. From what I want out of wrestling, just doing it with the clapping, I'd still have fun. I'm one of the few people who enjoyed wrestling in the Performance Center with nobody. I enjoy wrestling in the Thunderdome. I tend to find myself enjoying wrestling in any atmosphere it is. From what I want in my experience in New Japan, I would want people to be able to cheer. Hopefully, nothing happens where things get set back again or anything like that, not just because of my pro wrestling, but because of worldwide health. I would really want to wait for that. Somebody brought up to me this idea of me, Moxley, and 2 other people. Going back to their time on NXT, the Hit Row faction had a ton of success before their call up to the main roster, as they'd be cut from the company shortly after. On the Public Enemies podcast, Top Dollar said that Triple H upset stars in WWE for giving his group creative freedom for promos. Triple H was like, don't write nothing for them. Let them do what they want to do. Let them say what they want to say. We can't tell them how to be them. We can't tell them how to do this. Let them do their thing. People would be salty because they didn't get that kind of freedom. They'd been on the show for a lot longer time. With news of Steve Austin returning at WrestleMania against Kevin Owens and Vince McMahon reportedly involved in the match between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, Corey Graves said on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast that he wants to call a McMahon and Austin moment. It's so weird to me. Again, back to me being a fan. A few years back, I got to call Undertaker matches and Shawn Michaels' return in Saudi Arabia, and I've called Goldberg matches. These guys that I grew up, and they were heroes to me, and to be able to voice some of their moments. It's all surreal. At this point, I think Austin and McMahon are about the only 2 left that I haven't gotten a call in some capacity. If I can get one of them this year, leave something for next year. Suffering a knee injury in September, MVP is not in a match in WWE for a while. He has been able to remain on television as Lashley's manager, but he recently told Freddie Prinze Jr. on iHeartRadio that he is rehabbing hard to get back in action. I'm going through my physical assessment to get clear to get back in the ring because I had that knee injury for a while. It's all healed up. It's just a matter of me jumping through hoops to make sure I'm physically capable of performing in the ring. I'm feeling good. The knee injury, the torn meniscus, is completely healed. Now it's just a matter of rebuilding the strength in the leg from the atrophied muscle. My teardrop is gone. Non-existent. We're working on building that back up. My cardio is much better than I thought it would be because I actually hired a trainer and have been working on it. I'm further along than I thought it would be, fortunately. My back isn't gasping for air. I feel pretty damn good. At Starrcade 99, Goldberg would hit Bret Hart with a stiff kick, causing a concussion, hampering the career of the Hitman. On Money in the Pharaoh, Goldberg's former trainer Dwayne Bruce put the blame on Hart for not avoiding the kick. Even Bret Hart blamed me for him getting concussion syndrome from Bill Goldberg, getting kicked in the ring. I'm like, you're from the Hart family dungeon, man. You have a 289-pound monster getting the biggest push anybody ever got, even on top of Hulk Hogan, and you don't know how to get your hand up? The fault lies entirely on you. Jake Roberts is a legend in pro wrestling and will always be associated with the snakes he would bring to the ring to terrify his opponents. On the DDP Snake Pit podcast, Roberts recalled a match where a snake tried to choke him. Ricky Steamboat had to pull one off me in Indianapolis that choked me out in the match. I collapsed, went down, and Steamboat, seeing that the snake was around my throat and that I was turning and he knew to unwind the snake. You can't break the snake's grip, because what happens when you lay across their scales like this, their scales interlock, you can't break that lock. lock. So you have to either get the head or the tail and unravel them. Well, Steamboat unraveled it, then let go because Steamboat is afraid of snakes too. As I come to, the snake is going into the 4th row and the tail, luckily, is still in the ring. And I lunge and grab the tail and I whip it all back in. It's about a 17-footer because the people were starting the Red Sea movement where they're all running and screaming. It was pretty incredible. We went back to Indianapolis about 3 months later. As soon as I got there, I thought I was fixing to be arrested because the police were coming and the building manager, and I'm like, what have I done? They're like, did you bring the same snake? I'm like, why? Because man, everyone called wanting to know if it's the same snake because they want to watch that son of a kill you. I'm like, oh, I love my fans. Following his release from WWE in November, Keith Lee finds himself working his way up the ranks in AEW. On Talk Is Jericho, Lee revealed what went wrong in WWE, saying, I think that my personality is something that kind of threw people off at first, because I am very to myself and I am very laid back. I don't really seem like what I exude out there, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to turn it on when it's time to turn on, but that apparently rubbed some people up the wrong way when I got there. You know, I wasn't, hey, how you doing? I will shake hands and go about my business. That's as much as I feel like is needed, but some people took that as maybe disrespect. During an interview with Complex, Rey Mysterio was asked about his current goals in WWE as the legend hinted at retirement. I've been very happy with the career that I've had, and it came with so many luxuries, so many blessings, so many friends, so many moments of traveling around the world. I never thought I would be able to share my culture, my lifestyle, my family around the world, and have fans in Europe, in Istanbul, in Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. To do the tribute to the troops, really, there's not much I can ask for now. You know, I just want to ride into the sunset. I'm making the best out of these last couple of years, and then I just want to watch my son's career flourish. Rey would also touch on his upcoming bout against Logan Paul and The Miz at WrestleMania. It's always been cool for WWE to bring in other athletes or celebrities into the mix and collaborate on a different scale by combining mixed matchups. Muhammad Ali, Alice Cooper, Cyndi Lauper, Mike Tyson, and now Logan Paul. And when other athletes, celebrities, or influencers like Logan step into our world, they leave respecting what we do. It's a certain appreciation that only the ones who step into that squared circle will understand. Logan will definitely appreciate. I can't wait to enforce some 619 LAW on the 216. With him working alongside Private Party and more big money, Matt Hardy could be going through a character change. Given the news of Jeff Hardy making his way to AEW, it seems Matt will be a babyface going forward, as he took to Twitter to write, I became wrapped up in making as much money as I could in AEW, much like those who came before me. I took advantage of young men who looked up to me and I failed them. On Dynamite, I promised to make a change and be better. It's time for me to get back to being Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy is expected to make his debut for the promotion during Dynamite tonight, with fans certainly excited over this huge signing. On Raw, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens came up short during their tag team triple threat match as RK Bro came out with the belts. Following the loss, Rollins made changes to his social media accounts, deleting bios and blacking out his profile. Here are some reactions from fans to this. Please pray for Seth Rollins. Nothing happened to him. He's just about to have another psychotic break. Hey yo, somebody check on the Visionary. Rollins has completely blacked out on every social media. Here's the first one he silenced. Oh, looks like Seth has gone dark on his socials. All blacked out and no bio. Also, his Twitter doesn't have his name. With AEW President Tony Khan announcing the acquisition of Ring of Honor, SC Scoops reported that the deal is expected to be finished by early April. Sources within ROH don't think many, if any, staffers will be brought back under Khan's ownership, with those being encouraged to explore other job opportunities. The Honor Club streaming service is up in the air amid reports that Khan wants to start an AEW streaming service. Of course, HBO Max is a likely destination for AEW content, but ROH employees will have to wait for a transition plan to know their future. Being shockingly released from WWE in July, Bray Wyatt will be making his first post-WWE appearance on Sunday for Showcase of Legends 7 in Albany, New York. Per the event's website, Wyatt will be doing meet and greet, photo ops, and autograph signings between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Other wrestlers making an appearance include AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, Scarlett Bordeaux, Dustin Rhodes, Matt Cardona, and more. With EC3 and Braun Strowman recently having a show for Control Your Narrative and apparently getting a TV deal, Strowman took to Instagram to claim that talent will actually fight in CYN. If you missed our first sold-out show, don't miss this one, as Control Your Narrative is set to blow the roof off the world-famous Gillies Dallas. March 31st, see the essential character EC3 count these seconds of someone's life away with Killer Cross or stand in awe at the presence of the Titan. And if you think that's all, wait till you see what else we have up our sleeves. This will be the only place to be March 31st, unless you want to watch a bunch of dorks choreograph dance with each other for no reason at all, because we don't do that garbage in the narrative, because we actually fight. Be a part of the future, be a part of something special, be a part of change. We are the future. While Miro's AEW contract was set to expire soon, according to Fightful, Miro is re-signed with the company for another 4 years, with this deal being agreed upon late last year, but not signed for a little while after that. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.